Hey cookie creators and lovers alike, I'm Gabby. It's time to celebrate another new year. Today on the Cool Cookie Show, we're making Chinese New Year's cookies. For our lantern cookie, we're going to start by flooding the base in white. For my soft piping consistency icing, I'm using a No. 1 Ateco tip, and for my 15-second consistency flooding icing, I'm using a No. 3 Wilton tip. Now we'll let this cookie dry for 6 to 12 hours before I draw on the lanterns. Now that the cookie is fully dried, using a food coloring marker and my overhead projector, I'm going to trace the lanterns onto the cookie. We'll let the icing dry for 20 minutes to an hour before we continue flooding. We'll let all of the icing dry for a good 6 to 12 hours before we add detail. I'm going to use my black fine tip food coloring marker to outline the rope of the lantern. A list of all of the products I use in this video can be found in the details below. These lanterns are all done and ready to light up the festival sky. For our coins, we'll start by flooding the base of the cookie in a golden yellow that has a touch of brown. For my soft piping consistency icing, I'm using a No. 1 Ateco tip. And for my 15-second consistency flooding icing, I'm using a No. 2 Wilton tip. We'll let this flooding dry for 6 to 12 hours before we give it a little detail. Our coins are all done and ready to be gifted. For the dragon, I used my projector and a food coloring marker to mark my guidelines before I started. I'm going to start by flooding the gold elements of our dragon. For my soft piping consistency icing, I'm using a No. 1 Ateco tip. And for my 15-second consistency flooding icing, I'm using a No. 2 Wilton tip. We'll let this flooding dry for 20 minutes to an hour before we add the red. We'll let this flooding dry for 20 minutes to an hour before we add the white. We'll let all the flooding dry for 6 to 12 hours before we add detail. Our dragon is all done and ready to celebrate. Do you celebrate Chinese New Year? If so, what's your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click subscribe as well as the bell icon to be notified every time I upload a new video. In the meantime, here are some other videos you may enjoy. Thanks so much for watching the Cool Cookie Show. Till next time, stay sweet.